Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here this evening with us. My name is Elisa Resendez. I am the Director of Early Childhood Services for KLRN. And this evening, we're going to be talking about building social emotional learning through PBS Children's programming. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can go through the presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to type those in the chat box. So we could get those answers to you. And towards the end, I will be sharing some PBS websites that will also help you with the social emotional learning of our children. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the session for this evening. Once again, thank you everyone for being here with us this evening. We're glad you're here. This evening, we are going to be talking about building social emotional learning through PBS Children's programs. And we'd like to thank First Mark Credit Union for being the sponsor of the session this evening. Okay. So together we're going to learn about what is social emotional learning, 5 strategies to support emotional development, and PBS programs to support social emotional as well. Okay, so let's continue. But first, let's go ahead and have a little review of a social emotional learning and how that impacts our children's learning. Okay, so social development. So what is social development? It's the ability to manage oneself in the context of interactions with others, right? So social development is a process through which children learn to build relationships. It involves learning the values, knowledge, and skills necessary to understand how to get along with others. Everyday experiences support children's developing social skills. So social emotional development also includes our children's experiences, expressions, and management of their emotions, right? So this helps lead to the ability to establish positive and rewarding relationships with others. And how early in life do you think children begin to develop the wiring for social emotional development or behavior? You can feel free to enter your response in the chat box. I'll give you about a second or two to enter your response. And correct, right. So children do develop the wiring for social emotional behaviors at birth. So that is something that our children start wiring as soon as birth. Emotional development is the ability to recognize and manage one's emotions, right? So we need to help our children be able to recognize their emotion, to label their emotion, and then to express it appropriately or positively, right? So that would be using like meditation techniques, or breathing techniques. Those would be positive ways in which we can express that emotion in a positive way. So again, and this again is a lifelong skill that our children will need as they continue their educational careers and become contributing citizens to our community, right? Okay. So here, let's just review the windows of opportunity. This is a scientific chart that was not created by an educator, right? It is not a belief, nor is it a feeling or philosophy. It is a series of facts, right? This research has been done on these various developmental milestones and wiring opportunities, right? So as we can see here, under the social development domain or window, we see that again starts at birth. And of course, it goes on through puberty and beyond, right? So we can see that attachment also becomes wired at birth, or starts wiring at birth. Then we have emotional intelligence, right? That is something that also starts wiring at birth. Then we have the trust that also develops at birth. So once our children feel safe and secure with a trusted caregiver, then they are free to start those learning opportunities and be able to gain those skills, right? So as we can see on this chart, that emotional and social development do begin at birth. And another handy dandy way that we can keep track of our child's development, not only in social emotional domains, but in the other domains as well, is just by going to visit the CDC website, and you can download the free Milestones Tracker app on your phone. Right? And those milestones matter, right? Tracking our children's milestones from birth to 5 years of age is very important, so that we can make sure that our children are on track and their development is progressing, right? To looking as we look for those important milestones that they're reaching, and by using this interactive app or illustrated checklist will help us make sure that our children are developing on track, right? So this isn't not just for parents, but it's also useful too for educators, because you can look for information towards geared towards the children, the age group that you are caring for. Okay, so this is a very handy app or tool that you can use, that's going to also help you better understand our child's social and emotional development. And so we have the core competencies of social emotional learning, right? So we see that social emotional learning is the core, right? And then that expands to other areas. So we want to make sure that our children are self-aware, right? Recognize one's emotions, as well as their own strengths and challenges, right? So again, giving them the tools that they need to be self-aware, to recognize their emotions, and then also responsible decision-making. We want to make sure they are making critical, constructive choices about their personal and social behavior, right? So being able to make decisions that are appropriate when making those decisions, building those relationships, right? So relationship skills, forming positive relationships, right? Because they need to be able to work in teams, and being able to work effectively through conflicts, right? So not only building positive relationships with their peers, but also building positive relationships with the educators, right? So we need to help them build those relationships in a positive way by us making instructing them and showing them that we are here to guide them and support them, and that we are going to help them along the way. Also, social awareness, showing understanding and empathy for others. So even in the toddler room, you can see it, where when a little one might be crying or feeling frustrated, there's other toddlers that come and surround him and want to see what's going on and want to comfort him, right? So then that's them understanding empathy for others. And then, of course, being a self-management, right? Managing emotions, and managing their emotions so that they can achieve their own goals, right? Because if they are not in a positive wavelength, then they're not going to be able to achieve those goals that they might have. So being able, aware of their emotions and then managing their emotions as well. So that's what we're going to see, how some of our PBS programming is able to help our children in recognizing their emotions and managing what those emotions are. Okay, so now we're going to watch this short clip that talks about what is social emotional development and why does it matter.
The latest brain research that's out there, this new understanding that children are learning from birth is really exciting. And I think it has sort of the capacity to change the way we interact with particularly infants and toddlers, but also preschoolers.
What we've seen is a very significant shift from the 80s with sort of our focus on IQ and cognitive skills to a really impressive focus and a groundswell around social emotional development.
Social emotional development is the learning of how to be human, really, from the very first day of life.
Does your kid share with other kids? Can they resolve conflicts with other kids? How do they feel about themselves? How do they express themselves?
We have a lot of tests in our schools. You know what they show? They show the amount of input that every child has at home.
It really boils down to self-management, self-awareness, and self-control. But it's not just about the self, it's also about empathizing with other people and relationships and perspective taking.
What we want for our kids is to have a sense of purpose and to be able to communicate with others and to feel confident in their own skin.
Can they manage their negative emotions enough so that they can get along well with other children in the classroom?
What you're doing is building their level of trust and security, and that's going to be their foundation of happiness and confidence for the rest of their lives.
Right. So not only are we as educators, but parents, we are the most important person, right? That's going to help our children build those social emotional development skills. And just like it was mentioned in the video, social emotional development, right, is self-awareness, self-management, and self-control. So being able for our children to be able to have those skills, just like when we reviewed the core competencies of the social emotional learning, right? It was self-management, self-awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision making as well. So all of those skills are important for us to have great outcomes when we have positive social emotional development. So here are 5 strategies to support social emotional development. The first one says offer choices among acceptable alternatives, right? So this is not only true for educators in the classroom, but also for parents or caregivers in the home, right? So this is giving children choices, helps them to feel they are somewhat in control, right? Children need help to learn how to make decisions and offering an opportunity to make choices when either choice is acceptable to us, the adults, lets children practice this important skill, right? You can say things like, do you want to pick up your toys now or in 2 minutes, right? So we can also give that choice to our children in our classrooms, right? We can either pick up the toys now, or we're gonna have to pick up our toys in 2 more minutes. So allowing choices with acceptable alternatives for us, the adults. And the second strategy is help children prepare for and manage transitions, right? Transitions are the hardest to manage when we don't expect them, right? And again, we need to talk about self-management, right? That's part of social emotional development, being able to self-manage. And sometimes that's hard when we don't expect for that change to occur. So providing many prompts and reminders when a transition is approaching, so children know what to expect and can better manage their emotions and behaviors. You can say things like, after nap, we will go outside and play. Then after that, we are coming back inside for dinner. So we know again that transitions is a hard time for some of our children, especially when it's something that is, occurs all of a sudden, right? And we're not prepared for that transition. Because we know sometimes our children might have breakdowns or tantrums or respond negatively to that transition because they weren't ready for it. But when we give those reminders, right, those 5 minutes warnings that a transition is going to happen, it prepares our children to better manage those emotions and it helps them prepare themselves that a transition is coming. The third one is acknowledge feelings instead of trying to fix them, right? Name that emotion. So naming those emotions helps children learn to manage them by naming them and offering comfort and support. Children experience emotions more intensively than many adults and may need to do something physical to process strong feelings. Okay, we can say something like, you look really surprised and maybe scared too. Can I hold you? So, just offering that, acknowledging their feelings and offering that support and comfort for them, and knowing that you're a trusting adult where they can come to be able to express those feelings with. Because we heard that in the video, right? That, trust is also a big part of social emotional development, because there's these adults in their lives in which they can trust to come to, so that they can acknowledge those feelings or emotions. And those adults are going to help them navigate through that feeling or emotion. Then we can try the acronym ACT, which stands for acknowledge, communicate, and target. This discipline strategy helps support emotional development and build skills for future challenges. So we're going to acknowledge the feeling. So that's what acknowledge stands for. So acknowledge the feeling. We're going to communicate the limit. And then we're going to target the alternative. What is it that we're wanting them to do? So here's an example. You sound really angry with your brother, acknowledging the feeling. Calling him names is not okay. Setting the limit, right? Communicating, setting the limit. You can tell him you don't want to share your toys right now. So that's the alternative. I don't want to share right now, but I might be able to share with you later. So again, acknowledge the feeling, communicate the limit, target the alternative. So let me say the example one more time. It says, you sound really angry with your brother. Calling him names is not okay. You can tell him you don't want to share your toys right now. So this works in the classroom as well, right? Acknowledge the feeling. You know, you sound really angry with Mark. Calling him names is not okay. You can tell him you don't want to share your toys right now, right? So that also helps with the social emotional development. Again, we're helping them acknowledge the feeling, communicate the limit, and then we're going to target the alternative. And then, of course, the last one, it says try to spend, oh, that should be spend. Try to spend time to deepen your emotional connection with the child or children, right? So just setting some time aside, right? All important relationships need our time and attention to thrive. You know, so this is true for educators as well, right? We need to spend some time with children, either in small groups or individual as well. Set time is special time indicated to nurture the unique bond we have with the children. Meeting children's need with positive attention can help prevent negative behaviors in other areas, right? So if we spend 5 minutes, throughout the day, or, a couple of days out of the week, where we spend just that short amount of time focused on the children's strength, a focus on the children strengthens our relationships, and it helps support development as well. So, just spending that short amount of time with the children in our classrooms or with our own children can help strengthen our relationship with the children, and it also helps support their development. We can say things like, I would like to play with you today in the dramatic area or in the block area, or I'm going to make some time this morning to spend time with you in the library. So, just giving them information that you're going to be spending some time with them in the morning. It's something that for them to look forward to. And again, spending that time with a child or a small group of children strengthens your relationship with them, which also helps support their social and emotional development. Okay, and then here we have a quote from the University of Syracuse. It says, a child's positive relationship with trusting and caring adults is the key to successful emotional and social development. As we heard in the video, right? So part of social emotional development is having those positive, trusting relationships with caring adults, right? So with us, the educators in the classrooms, and as we've just learned, just setting some time aside to spend with the children helps build that positive relationship with our children in our classrooms. So this is going to help in building their social emotional development skills as well. Okay, so here is the list, PBS Children's programming. Here is a list of children's PBS programming that helps support social and emotional learning. So here we have on the left-hand side, the program title. And then in the center column, we have the grade that it targets. And then on the right-hand side, we have listed the, of course, social emotional domain or learning, and other areas that that particular program also focuses on. So an example could be like Alma's Way, right? So it's the very first one on the list, Alma's Way. That's the name of the program. The target grade or age is kinder through 2nd grade. And then it focuses on social and emotional learning and executive function. We have a Sesame Street, and that's focused on pre-K and K, and they focus on literacy, math, social and emotional learning. So this is the list of PBS programs that supports social and emotional development. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the first program. Okay, so here we have Daniel Tiger, and the age target is pre-K through K. The learning goals are empathy, imagination, respect, school readiness, self-control, emotional regulation, self-esteem, social skills, social emotional learning, and strategies. So here in this one program, you can see that it has several of the skills that we've learned that are required for social emotional development, which was empathy, which was self-control and emotional regulation, right, which is self-management, social skills, right, building those positive relationships, and then of course social emotional learning. So here, when we visit the PBS websites, we'll see when we visit PBS Kids/Parents, you see that you'll find articles. So here we have an article that it talks about managing feelings. This is an article for us, the adults, that we can read. That's going to give us tips on strategies when working with the children. And when we go to the website, we can see how this is all laid out in there. Then there's also, they also provide activities that we can implement in our classrooms or in our homes, right, that are going to help us help our children with the skills that they need to develop. Again, Daniel Tiger is a program that invites young viewers into his world, giving them a kid's eye view of his life, right? And the learning goals for the program are on social emotional development. So not only do we have articles geared towards the adult, we also have activities that we can implement in our classrooms or homes that is going to help our children build those skills. Then we also find apps that we can download and have our children engage with, right? So one of them is Daniel Tiger's Graphic Feelings. So this is one of the activities that we can use with children, right? So it says children can play, sing, and learn about all kinds of feelings with their friends and neighborhood, with their friend and neighbor Daniel Tiger from the hit PBS series Daniel Tigers, right? So it features trolley games. It features sing-alongs and drawing easel. So it has lots of engaging positive learning activities for our children as well. And then here is an example of a video clip that we can use with the children when we're talking about feeding. So this is Katarina Gets Mad. So let me go ahead and play this video for you. And there's a certain section that I'd like to play because it is a 12-minute video, but we're not going to view the whole 12 minutes. We're just going to view about 3 minutes of this program.
It's a beautiful day in the
neighborhood. We're going to start.
My neighbor came too.
Hey there.
Awesome.
Hi, kids.
Woohoo! Look, my friends came too. Hi, friends.
Hi.
Meow.
Hello.
Welcome to my daddy's shop.
I'll be back to pick you up, okay, my fuzzy little tiger?
Okay. Ugga Dad.
Hugga mugga.
Okay, here's the plan. First, look at all the instruments and see which one you like.
Whoa!
Rock on.
I want to play the triangle, Meow Meow. It's so pretty. It's really nice.
Now everybody get to line and we'll pick an instrument one at a time.
Meow Meow. I'm ready to pick my instrument now.
Hey, I was first.
Katerina, you were first last time. Now it's Prince Wednesday's turn to be first, huh?
But I want to be first today, Meow. Meow Meow. I am so mad, Meow Meow.
Katerina, good job using your words. You are mad. You wanted to be first.
I am mad, Meow Meow.
I know you're mad, but you need to be calm to solve your problem.
I'm too mad to be calm.
Let's try this. When you feel so mad that you want to roar, take a deep breath and count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
When you feel so mad that you wanna roar, take a deep breath and count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
How do you feel now?
Better, Meow Meow.
You look calmer, and you got calm in your own special way. You danced your mad out.
Meow Meow, I danced my mad out, and now I feel calm. Meow Meow. So, can I be first, Meow Meow?
No, sorry. Prince Wednesday is still first. But now that you're calm, talk to him about it.
Okay. Prince Wednesday, sorry I yelled. I can wait for my turn now. Meow.
Thank you, Katerina.
I still hope I get the triangle.
Okay, Prince Wednesday. What?
Okay, so as you can see, this is a very short clip that we can play for our children because we know they have short attention spans, and it helps them identify their feeling and how to appropriately in a positively way to calm them, what strategy to use to calm themselves down. So this is one of our PBS websites, PBS Learning Media. And as you can see here, we have Daniel Tiger, and they create big bundles for you already. They give you the video clip, they give you the article on which to read. They give you teacher tips when working with children, right, about mad feelings. They also give you a classroom activities that you can implement in your classroom. And then they also give a family activity. And what I like about this one is that they also give, or this particular bundle shows us a realistic video on 2 little girls using the calming down strategies that we just saw Katerina do. And I'm going to play this video for you. And it's just a short video.
Let's go see some neighbors.
Kate and Julia love to play checkers. Looks like Julia's winning this time.
What's going on in here? It's just a game. You know what? When you're upset, though, you can take it down like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Want to try again?
Yes.
Kate's calm now. Let's see what happens.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now that Kate's calmer, she can keep on playing and not get mad.
I like these visits with you.
So good. A very short video clip where we can talk to our children on actually practicing these strategies that we can teach them in our classrooms, right? So that was Daniel Tiger. And then we will go in more into depth into the PBS Learning Media website towards the end of the session. Then another program that also helps with the social emotional is Don Quixote. And we can see here that the age target for this program is pre-K. The learning goals are emotions, self-awareness, social skills, and character and relationships. Again, all skills that we need, right, to help us with our social emotional skills, which is emotions, self-awareness, and relationships. So we need positive relationships. Also, when we go into PBS Learning Media, you can look specifically for the program that you're wanting to use. And again, we'll find articles such as this one that says 5 ways to build your preschooler's confidence article, right? Because we need to help them build their confidence to be have positive relationships, be able to identify and express their feelings appropriately. And then we have activity that we can help them create. So this is an activity that we can implement or a learning station in our classrooms. And this is making a mindfulness glitter jar. And again, we know that these glitter bottles are soothing and calming for our children. So this could be another strategy when they have those strong emotions. They can rotate this bottle back and forth to help them calm themselves down. So this is an activity that we would find on the website that would help our children with their social emotional skills. And then, of course, there's interactive game. As children play this game, they learn to control their emotions as they help Don Quixote deliver a package while navigating a maze. So again, there's interactive games that our children can engage in as they are practicing to manage their emotions as well. And towards the end of the session, we'll go into those websites more specifically. Okay, so another program I'd like to review with you is the Sesame Street, right? So we know their target audience is 2 to 5. And their learning goals are social, emotional, competency, self-esteem, literacy, and math. Sesame Street has found that although the show was produced for 3 to 5-year-olds, children began watching this program at a very younger age. And as a result, the target audience for Sesame Street has shifted down towards the 2 to 5, from 4 to 3. In 2002, the main block of viewers for Sesame Street were 2-year-olds. So that is why the target audience has changed to 2 to 5 years old. But Sesame Street teaches us how to give voice to our emotions, understand them, and grow to understand the emotions in others. It creates a world where friends and neighbors can provide as much support as families. A world where our differences are not divisive, but worthy of celebration and understanding. Sesame Street has many skits and songs about feelings, how to identify them, and how to explain them to others. So helping children to express and understand their emotions can set a strong foundation as to how they overcome challenges, understand others, and communicate throughout their lives. Again, all lifelong skills that we're going to be needing, that our children will be needing, right? And also, when we go visit the Sesame Street and Communities website, you'll see that, again, just like this one, it has articles for us, the adults. So here's one article that we would find entitled Expressing Emotions. So we know that every day brings changes, right? And chances for children to express their emotions. Ways we can encourage our children to share their feelings with us is to, we can act it out. Children often work through their biggest feelings while pretending, right? They can share their emotion with us. Children will be more likely to share emotions if they see a growing up doing it too. So if we as adults can share emotions, oh, I am feeling really sad today because, I didn't get to see my grandma last night. During mealtime, go around the table and share one thing you did and one emotion you felt that day. Or I felt really happy because I got to, walk my dog this morning. We can use books as well. Using books as a window into emotions as well. Singing songs about emotions and feelings can also help our children expressing their feelings through dance and movement, right? So there's various ways we can help our children express their emotions, as this article gives us those different tips and ideas on what to do. Then we have an activity that we can implement in our classroom, right? Children can begin to develop their emotional vocabulary by naming the emotion of their Sesame Street friends, right? As they work on these feelings faces. So that's how we're going to help our children develop their emotional vocabulary, so that they can then be better able to express those feelings and emotions in a positive way. And then we also have interactive games where our children can build their emotional books. There's a storybook builder, and here they can create their books about emotions, right? They can either do it in this interactive game, or you can even implement this in paper as a learning center. So let's go ahead and go into our first website I would like to share with you. It is called Sesame Street in Communities. And then, of course, there's pbs.org/parents. But let me go ahead and go to Sesame Street in Communities. So here is Sesame Street in Communities website. And there are many topics you can choose from, but today we are talking about exploring emotions, social emotional development. So we're going to go to this tab. And here you see an introductory video that talks about feelings and emotions. And this website is geared towards the adult, the educator, the caregiver. Okay, you can sign in, creating an account, which is free of charge. There is no charge. It's just easier if you create an account. That way you can locate information easier and quicker, because once you find an article, an activity, or a game that you would really like to use with your children, you can tag it and it becomes in your library. This website is totally available in English and in Spanish. On the left-hand corner, you just click that to Spanish and Espanol, and it transfers everything into Spanish. So then we have here, again, we have articles, videos that will help us when working with our children and exploring big feelings, talking about feelings, naming feelings. We have feelings have names. We have activities, expressing feelings with words. And again, we have articles here. Here's the expressing emotions article that we as adults can read and then later on implement those strategies and tips with the children in our classroom. Then we have printables talking about feelings as well. And all you really have to do is there's always something, the wording highlighted at the very top is the main target of the main idea of the activity. So here it says talking with grown-ups helps kids express themselves and build a trusting bond. It gives you the name of the activity. It gives you what we're working on, exploring emotions, which is part of social emotional development, the age range, and about how long it would take for this activity. It gives you step-by-step instructions on how to implement the activity in your classrooms or in your home. And then you simply download the handout and print out for the children to use. And then here are, here's a prompt. Who are some grown-ups you can talk to about your feelings, and write their names here. And if they're too young to write, you would ask them to name them and then you would write them here for them. So this is one of the great activities we can do with our children. And then of course down here, it talks more about other apps that we can use, the breathe, think, and do. So this help a monster friend with big feelings learn to calm down and solve everyday challenges, right? So that's another app that we can use with our children to helping them calm down. So here are all the activities, printables, and videos that we can share with our children when we're talking about their emotional, social emotional development and learning. And then of course, part of social emotional, right, is caring and sharing. So here is another tab that has additional resources for us, thankful hearts, building our child's self-esteem, the joy of friendships, right? Learning empathy. Remember that was one of the skill for social emotional development. Growing empathy. So here's an article for us, the adults, to read on that, that will help us when working with our children and helping them develop those empathy skills. So here the big idea is empathy means understanding when another person is feeling, and it is a key to all relationships. Okay, and then we read this small section, and then we can have a better understanding on how to help our children grow empathy skills. Being a good friend is also part of social emotional development. Hugs, right? Showing we care. So these are all other printables, videos, and articles we can read to work when working with our children. So this is one of those websites, which is sesamestreetandcommunities.org. Again, just highly recommend that you create an account, which is free of charge. And then once you do, there's also professional development training videos and webinars and interactive courses and trainings that are available to you. The other website I wanted to review with you is the pbs.org/parents. And here, when we know which show we're looking for, like another show that also focuses on social emotional development is Arthur. So I could just click on Arthur, And then it brings up Arthur, the bundle of Arthur, and everything that, you know, managing back to school feelings with Arthur. How can you help your child manage friendships, on hands-on activities, creating a kindness tree, right? How, you know, every time we're kind to someone, we can add a little leaf to our tree. A memory book. Let's see. There's games as well that you can use. Another program that also focuses on social emotional development is Clifford. So we can always go to shows, and then we go to Clifford, the big red dog, and then here are all the bundle of articles that are from Clifford and could help us with social emotional learning for our children. Let's say you're not sure which program you'd like to use. You can always go to search, and you can type down here, you can select social emotional awareness, social skills. And you know, what are we looking for? Are we looking for articles or anything? So I just checked those two off, and everything that is social emotional and self-awareness and social comes up, whether it's an article, whether it's an activity, whether it's an app or a game. Here you can see you know, from Don Quixote, you know, 5 ways to help kids handle disagreements with friends. Article from Alma's Way, Emotions and Self-Awareness, How to Connect with Long-Distance Loved Ones. And here's a collection for practicing self-confidence, right? Because we talked about being able for our children to practice self-confidence. You can click here, and then you have that collection of articles, activities, and games or apps that are going to specifically focus on practicing that self-confidence in our children. So what would we like to explore? Would we like to talk, or we would like to make an activity? What age group? 2 to 5? And we want to make something. How do you flip the card? Flip the cards. So here you see it has encouraging independence play for toddlers and preschoolers, building self-confidence with a goal-setting activity. Here's the game, and here's the articles for the adults. Now, if I have 6 to 8-year-olds, then I can flip the card, and it's towards that age range. The encouragement jar, right? So there's that. And again, here also, and there's like here, it says there's 647 more results. So there's lots of, you know, practicing collection for practicing kindness and compassion. So here's another collection that we can review. So there's lots of articles, activities, and games that would help you when teaching emotional and self-awareness or social skills to the children in your classroom. And again, you choose the age range and you flip those cards. And then it'll give you from the various, here's the Arthur, an activity from Arthur, a game from Daniel Tiger, another app from another PBS program, which is Wild Kratts Baby Buddies. And then, of course, an article, How Caring for Living Things Helps Kids Build Empathy. So this is an article for us, the adults, right? And then we want to change the age range, and we're going to see what that brings us now. So 2 articles for the adult, printable from Xavier Riddle. I was thinking of the program's name. Xavier Riddle, and then of course a game from the PBS show Molly of Denali, that'll help with that skill, with kindness and compassion. So again, there are lots of collections, activities, games that you can look up that would help you when working on the social emotional learning with the children in your classrooms or your own children in your homes. Okay, and then the final website I would like to review with you is the PBS Learning Media. And again, here you can sign up for free as an adult to use the website, because this is like a really large PBS library that has many resources for you as well. So here, what I did is I typed in Daniel Tiger social emotional, and here's the Daniel Tiger social. Well, I probably didn't type it right. Okay, so here's a collection. There's over 6,000 search results, right? Daniel is jealous. Katerina is jealous. Social awareness, social emotional. So it brings up everything, not just Daniel Tiger, right? Anything that is related to social emotional. But since I was looking for Daniel Tiger here, you can, maybe there's some jealousy going on. Here you can see that there's other recommended videos that you could use. Here we have an article on jealousy and an activity. I feel jealous when, and you can click on here, and then it gives you the teacher the learning goals of the activity, what materials you need, and how to implement the activity in your classroom. And of course, the song that we're singing, right? And then here was the article for us, the adults, right? That we can read and then have knowledge when working with our children, when there's some jealousy going on. It says, when we talk with children about their feelings of jealousy, we let them know that it's all right to have those feelings. At the same time, we can assure them that they will always have a special place in our lives, and no one can ever take that away. Of course, that was a quote from Fred Rogers. And then he gives us background here. It says language plays a key role in helping children deal with their feelings. Feelings are a part of being human. Of course, talking about feelings can be a challenge for people of any age, even more so for young children who don't use words as well, especially when they're upset. And then of course it goes on and on. It gives you information, background knowledge, and what to do with our children. And then of course there's the video, right? So it's a 2-minute video, as you can see, again, because we know that our children at this age have short attention spans, and we want to be very impactful with our lesson with them, right? So if there was Daniel Tiger, another one was Clifford, social emotional. So you just type what you're looking for up on top. It has social awareness. And let's say it didn't come up, you can always just type in on the left hand side the age range you're looking for. And here's Clifford. You see now it came up. Clifford adventure stories, all around Birdwin, kindness curriculum. So of course there's lots of information on various videos that would help you with the social emotional learning. Also, you can up on the top here, when you're searching, you're looking for grades, you're going to do pre-K. It's going to come up with all your pre-K And we are looking for preschool. And, you know, are we looking for a video, an interactive lesson, a lesson plan, a collection, whatever it may be. So there's lots of ways for us to find information for our children. Here we also have, when you click up on the top under subjects, you can go down to preschool and then social emotional development. And here is the area of social emotional development for our children. And then you're going to see the videos that are available. The you'll see Daniel Tigers, you'll see Sesame Street, and you have interactive lessons, interactive apps and video games. And then over here on the right-hand side, is there something specific we're wanting to focus on? Are we wanting to focus on self-awareness or social awareness or self-management? Maybe they're having difficulty managing their emotions. Or are we wanting to focus on relationship skills? So self-management, then of course, which specific self-control, appropriate behaviors, problem solving and self-confidence, creative thinking. We can do self-control. And then here's one on Sesame Street. Another from our Don Quixote program. Another one from Sesame Street that's on grief. One other video from Don Quixote, another one from Xavier Riddles. So the list can go on and on and on. There's so many different ways you can search these websites for specific social emotional development topics that you're wanting to or looking to implement into your classrooms and working and facilitating these activities with the children in your classrooms. So again, those websites were pbslearningmedia.org, pbs.org/parents, and then Sesame Street in communities.org. Okay, let me see, I want to go back. And then before we end, I'd just like to bring to your attention a service that we have available. It's called Bright by Text. You can subscribe to it for free activities, games, and resources for parents and caregivers of children under 5 years. Well, actually, they just changed the age range. It could be up to the age of 17. You can sign up in San Antonio by simply texting KLRN to 274448. And you'll receive these activities, games, and resources for the child specific to your child, because when you register, you'll have to enter your child's date of birth. And that that's how they'll get the information specific to your child's age. And then they also send other information of activities happening here around in the San Antonio area. The service is available in English and in Spanish. And then just remember that children learn as they look around. They learn as they do. Children learn from each other. Children learn from you. So again, it's, you know, as we express our feelings and show our children that we can label our feelings and manage our feelings appropriately and expressing them in an appropriate ways, positive way, and build those positive relationships, our children are going to learn from that as well. So we thank you for joining us this evening. Here is a list of our education department. If you ever have any questions or need any other additional information, feel free to email any one of us here on the list, and we'd be more than glad to help you in any which way we can. Again, thank you for being here with us this evening. This concludes our session. Please be sure to respond to the survey. The link is in the chat box so that you may receive a training certificate if you're requiring one. Again, that is the only way that you would receive your training certificate is once you have completed the post survey. And you can find the link in the chat box. So once again, thank you for being here with us this evening. We hope to see you again soon. Have a wonderful and great holiday break or season. And we look forward to seeing y'all soon. Thank you, everyone.